I've played the tower, idle tower defense for 6 months, so I can tell you if it's worth your time and your wallet. What's up, guys? It's Kosh, and yeah, we're doing the review of the tower. It took me a while to get onto the game, and actually I abandoned it once. So today you will hear my honest thoughts on how good or bad the game is. And I hope it's not as bad as my segue to begging you for likes and subscribes to promote the video in YouTube algorithm, guys. So yeah, please do that if you haven't done that yet. So let's start with the gameplay. The idea of the game that it's fully automatic. You have your tower in the center. It's advertised as tower defense game with idle mechanics, but in reality it's pretty active. Your tower is in the center of the screen and you will be attacked by enemies. The enemies here are represented by squares and triangles, and some of them have different abilities. The further you go, the stronger they get, so the mechanics is pretty straightforward for the tower defense lovers. The problem is that your tower is weak at the start, so you will die quite often, and you will farm two types of currencies during your run. Cash, which is used only in the round, and coins that's been used for the upgrades of your tower. The problem with the upgrades, though, that they cost quite a lot. Early upgrades are pretty cheap, but as you go deeper, it will take days and maybe even weeks to get some progress, some significant bonuses that will help you during the run. The game is mostly single player. You will compete against the waves from time to time, several tiers. The higher the tier, the higher the enemy difficulty is, but from time to time you will have the tournaments where you compete with other players for the prizes. The player who gets the highest stage during the tournament run will get the better prizes, and here you get unique resources, stones. And now we're getting to the interesting part. During the early game, you can't idle in the game because you have to manually click things, get upgrades, otherwise you will be overwhelmed and killed quickly. So you have to manually do the upgrades for your tower while you're doing the run. And it will be like that for the first month or two, let's put it like that. Afterwards, you will use something that's called free upgrades that will make your life a bit easier, so you will have a chance to do the upgrade, although it's not fully circumventing the upgrades need. Even if you max out the out of the run upgrades here that can be bought with the coins, it will still require some investment during the run, and in order to progress, you will need to get the ultimate weapons. The problem with the ultimate weapons that they are random, so you can't guarantee to get one, and it takes weeks and months to get another try. And if you won't get the meta ultimate weapons, you will be slowed down to a crawl and your progress will be even slower. So for the people to get the required set of ultimate weapons, it might take 3-4 months of idle grinding. And it would be okay because it's an idle game, right? But it doesn't work when your phone is off. So you have to keep your phone on all the time with the game on it, which is really ridiculous idea for the mobile game. It's not supposed to be like that. Other than that, you get the lab mechanics where you do research that takes real time. And as you can see, already at the very early stages of the game, you will get research that takes 11 days. After that, some research will take 40 days, 50 days. So get ready, that thing will take a while to develop, and there is no real way to speed it up other than spending diamonds, the gems, the premium currency. We'll talk about that in the free-to-play section. But yeah, overall the gameplay idea is pretty cool, but the progression is extremely slow. At first it will take you, well, first couple of days you will get some progress. Then it will take about 3 days of grinding to get to another stage. And then it will take, I don't know, week to do something, and then it will take slower and slower, and at some point you will be grinding for weeks just in order to do the incremental upgrades that will not affect your gameplay too much, because the most of your progression boost will come from things like cards that you can buy, from modules, from ultimate weapons and the labs, and all those things take time. You can't really speed it up. You need to farm those resources or buy them with your real money. So yeah, overall the gameplay idea is cool, but it's way too slow, lack of offline progression, lack of automatization options, and the fact that developers are actually against the automation. And the thing that if you will use macros or auto clickers in the game, you will get banned even if you pay for stuff. So basically in a single player game with a little bit of multiplayer, you are not allowed to play how you want. You have to grind. You don't have any other option. So that brings overall gameplay score to 4 out of 10 because of the horrible progression times and a lack of feeling of satisfaction. It requires a lot of grind. Now let's move on to the graphics. And honestly, the graphics in this game is pretty cool. It starts pretty simple with those moving squares and everything, but over time you will get ultimate weapons that have special effects, your bullets will have special effects as well, and it will look like a pretty good screensaver, so the graphics is nice. The main problem with the graphics that I have, that if you're playing it on the phone, it's actually quite heavy on your phone, it can heat up, and it consumes quite a lot of batteries. So yeah, using the emulator is the best option, and most people just do that or get another phone for the game, which is ridiculous. But yeah, graphics is nice, and I will give it 8 out of 10 for the graphics. It's pretty vibrant. Now let's move on to the sound and music, and the problem is that the game doesn't really have any sound. If you turn on sound effect and go into the game, your shots do nothing, your ultimate weapons do nothing, so there are no sound. Yeah, we have the ultimate weapon being activated and there are no sounds, shots do no sounds, so you won't hear anything outside of clicks. So when you click on any menu, on anything, you will hear the click. That's all the sounds we have in the game, which is sad because the game out for a while and they could introduce something, especially for like ultimate weapons, so it will be more active. As for the music, the game has some chill step soundtrack. There are several tracks available. I think they're all made by the same author, Krisu, and actually I like that. I had those in my playlist before I started playing the tower, so I really like that they use that music, although in my opinion it doesn't really fit the game genre and feel, because chill step, it's like mix of dubstep and chill out. It's more about relaxing, and here you're fighting waves of enemies, so we want to see something more active here. But anyway, most people play without the sound, so you get that. So yeah, lack of sound is pretty bad, but the music is good, so overall we'll give it 5 out of 10 for the sound and music. Now let's move on to the free-to-play section and see how free-to-play the game is. And this game is not free to play at all. First of all, your coin income is pretty low, so it will take forever to farm. If you want to speed it up, you get to the store. In the store, you get 3 packs that are pretty much essential for your progression. Disable ads will give you 1.5 coin multiplier, others will give you additional coin multipliers. That's basically the main thing you can get, and disable ads is pretty much essential. I'll tell you why in a second. So you will have to pay at least 10 USD to keep playing. Overall, for comfortable play, you will need to spend 30, 40, 50 USD. Wow, for the mobile game. And that won't be enough. That will just speed up your progression a bit. So first, the gems. The gems is the core currency of the game, and it's being used for most progression mechanics. You can get some of those for free, some of those for watching ads, but overall the gem income will be really low because you will need a lot of those to pull the cards. So while it seems cheap, in order to max out one card, which is pretty much a must for your progression, you will need to pay 1.6k gems, and in order to upgrade all of them to the maximum, you will need to spend 48,000 gems. That's already quite crazy amount. All the free sources of gems per day will give you around like 200 gems or so if you don't have the ad pack. Because with the ad pack, you can click this button and get 5 gems instantly. Or you can watch insane amount of ads as well. That will increase your gem income significantly, but still, it will be really slow to progress because cards isn't everything. You will also have to get the modules later on that will cost gems as well to pull. Then you will need gems to unlock the card slots, so in order to get more card slots, you will need to spend more gems. So the gems are hard to get, but stones are even harder because you need a lot of them to pull the ultimate weapons, and you can get them only from the tournament in several ways. And you can get very limited amount of those stones per week, but there are packs that cost a pretty serious amount of money. I think it's like 50 USD that will give you some extra stones. So the game is very predatory in terms of pay to win. You will not be able to progress without the no ad pack. It's pretty much a must. At least this has to be bought in order to progress. The rest of those packs are pretty much necessary for something like a viable progression. Otherwise, you will farm for a month for a single upgrade, and then you will probably need to buy the stone packs. And if you take a look at the gems, like 3,000 gems, even with the 50% more, 4.5k, costs 100 USD, which is enough to max out 2 cards. What the hell? At least the game doesn't feature forced ads, so that's already a good thing. And overall, I will rate it as like 2 out of 10 free to play, so it's a pretty pay-to-win title. And the fact that the developer team is actually actively fighting the automation and the tricks that will allow you to get the gems. So for example, you can buy no ad pack and then claim those gems automatically to increase your daily gems amount, means that they want more money. So instead of going for lighter monetization, so more player base will be happy with the lower spending, they go for the higher spending for lower amount of players. Not a good strategy if you ask me. But yeah, overall the game is really addictive. A lot of players are caught into this. I was playing for 6 months, and it's okay if you can automate things using macros to get the gems, to get the auto progression in the game instead of clicking it manually every like 5 minutes. Those quality of life features are supposed to be in the game. If you paid for no ad pack to claim the gems for free, you should be able to claim them automatically. Like you will get your, I don't know, 400 gems per day, like 200 gems per day for free, so you don't have to click that thing anymore. No, you have to click that thing every 10 minutes. I don't know. By the way, let me know how you feel. If you played the tower, you probably did. How do you feel about their monetization policy and overall free-to-playness? So for the final scores, the mix of the factors of the game, like inability to have offline progression, so you will have to play it manually, and you will have to play a lot to finish the weekly missions, event missions and all. You can't just play a couple of hours a day, you have to grind it out. Very greedy pay-to-win policy from the developers, so you will have to buy stuff and you will have to pay quite a lot to progress. Slow progression speed and aggressive attitude toward macros and automation for a pretty much single-player game. All those things and the direction of the game is taken right now. The latest patch introduced even more pay-to-win mechanics for the late game, so you will have to grind for like years in order to get there as a new player, especially free-to-play, makes the final score of this game 3 out of 10. It could be so much better, it could be 7. If it would have all the quality of life improvements, not that aggressive pay-to-win mechanics, and solid smooth progression, it could be 7. But because of all those drawbacks and the fact that your account can be banned, even if you paid, even if you invested month into the game, makes it 3. Let me know if you agree with that or not down below in the comments, and I would appreciate your likes and subscribes as always. That will help to promote the video in YouTube algorithms. You can check my guides for the game. There is a playlist down below in the video description. We also have the wiki for the game as well, and check out other reviews and my other content. And of course, check out other reviews, my Discord for more game recommendations and community and other useful stuff. All the links will be in the video description. Thank you very much for watching. It's been Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.